Hello, graduates. Now that you are graduating, have you asked yourself, what was the purpose of the past 12 years of schooling? I myself wonder how I would have answered that question had I been asked it back in 1975. So, let's go back to 1975. Daniel, how has school changed you? What was the purpose of the past 12 years of schooling for you, Daniel? Well, has school changed me? Has school defined me? If I'd only learned the basics, such as reading, writing, and simple math, and stopped going to school after 6th grade, would I still be able to function in the real world? What did people mean when they would say, wait until you have to function in the real world? I've always felt like I was living in the real world. I guess going to school for the past 12 years, stressing over large quantities of coursework in class and outside of class, doing chores, hanging with friends, was not the real world. I'm fairly sure I was living in the real world. Simply trying to manage and balance life at any age is the real world. Maybe if teachers did a better job of teaching, I would not have had to do more learning outside school hours. Oh, wait, I wasn't living in the real world, so I guess extra work on top of required classwork wasn't really happening. Sorry, went off on a tangent. Let me refocus. So what's the question again? Oh yeah, what was the purpose of the past 12 years of my schooling? Let me think about it. On average, I attended about 150 hours of school a year per class. Times 6 classes over a 12-year period equals about 10,800 hours of learning. Ha! Nailed it, math teacher. And you didn't think I was paying attention in algebra. And that is not counting all the homework I was required to put in outside state-required school hours. Was I supposed to remember all 10,800 hours of curriculum, plus all the homework? If I was, I apologize. I can barely remember last week. If I wasn't supposed to remember all 10,800 hours, then why did I not need to go to school that many hours? Maybe the idea was to create an opportunity for parents to get a break from children and let someone else deal with them for part of the day. Yeah, that's probably what it is. And we'll call it compulsory education. And we'll make it a law. The children receive instruction to master physical skills and attend a place, better known as school, where values of ethics and social communication abilities could be instilled in those that are not living in the real world yet. Could my parents have done that? Probably not, because it's compulsory education, not disciplinary education. Oh, oops, another tangent. I really need to be more aware of my purpose, and that is answering the question, what was the purpose of the past 12 years of my schooling? Well, back in 1975, I could not have told you the purpose of 12 years of compulsory education. But in 2020, I can. Since I've been living in the real world since 1975, I've come to the understanding that my initial 12 years of compulsory education, combined with my 18 years of disciplinary education, prepared me to learn. I did not know this at the time, but as the real world was coming at me full speed, whether I was ready or not, I learned that I was prepared for whatever it was the real world was going to confront me with. The ability to learn is the key. Learning is actually failing. Now, some of you might say, with that logic, that would mean that if I got straight Fs, I should have a 4.0 GPA. No. Stay focused, grasshopper. The way to learn is by trial and error. The way to learn is resilience and persistence. The way to learn is to not be afraid to try and fail, to try again, eventually succeeding. For example, I graduated in 1975 from compulsory education with a 1.90 GPA. Notice, Tesla on the left, graduated. I did not let that define me, despite being told by my disciplinary teachers that college was not in my future. It appeared the real world was coming at me full speed with a challenge. 2 years after graduating from high school and thinking I was just gonna surf my way through school, toes to the nose, dude, I instead got married. Got a job at the post office, no college degree required, raised 2 kids, and was enjoying life in the real world. Unfortunately, I got hurt at age 45, 10 years away from postal retirement. There it was, real life, coming at me again, full speed, as I sat frozen with a back injury that was going to end my good life. Once again, I did not let that define me. I attended my first college course in 2002, graduated from AVC with honors in 2003, 1.90 GPA in high school, graduated with honors in 2003. How did that happen? Graduated from CSUN in 2006, cum laude, 3.86 GPA this time. Completed credentialing courses and started teaching in 2007. In 2011, graduated again as a distinguished graduate with a master's degree in educational technology. Now I've been married 42.5 years, have 2 grandchildren, 10 and 13, and am enjoying life in the real world. My ability to learn and adapt, which was instilled in me for the 12 years of compulsory education, has provided me with the opportunity to live a good life in the real world. Over the course of the past 12 years, you will become a proven learner. Think back when you tried things and made mistakes, only to try again, or be told you need to try again. Using your resiliency and your persistency and lack of fear to succeed, or maybe simply surviving because the alternative would have been worse. The numerous quizzes, tests, writing assignments you studied for or did not study for, thus possibly creating stress and turmoil in your head, or not. Maybe it was the rigorous schedule with deadlines and demands that stressed you out or calmed you down. Right. Maybe you were the student who was organized and completed everything early, or the student that would wait until the last minute of the last hour because the adrenaline rush was so much fun. Possibly the student that did the best they could even if it fell a little short, or sometimes did not do it at all. The point is, you learned how to survive the 12 years of state-forced compulsory education. Otherwise, you would not be listening to me babble. Simply learning how to learn is the reason you endured 12 years of grueling compulsory education. You like the quotes? You are really enjoying that I keep saying compulsory education with the quotes. And the real world. Bottom line is your future from this point forward is what matters. And as you move forward into the real world, yep, said it again, you will prove to yourself that you learned how to learn, thus creating the opportunity for endless surprises of setbacks and accomplishments. Setbacks and accomplishments you will survive because you are a graduating senior of compulsory education. Got it in there one more time. So, now throw that cap in the air. Today you begin to carve your own path to a good life. Look at my shirt. Good life. You've learned how to learn and are ready to take on the real world as it comes at you at full speed.